the ultimate goal, and this is the first step.
Yeah, well, it certainly is. Well, let's back up a little bit and talk about how the season went overall in your matches and maybe some of the other highlights of the season throughout the year so far leading up to this.
Sure. So kind of going back to on the individual basis, Maverick Conrad, who was really my best player throughout the year, he finished in the top 5 at the Mount Carmel Invite, the first tournament of the year, which is 18 holes, probably 75 golfers. He also finished second at the Olney Invite, which is another 75 golfers, 18 holes, tough tournament. So he really did well in some of the bigger tournaments we had. We finished 11-8 on regular season matches, so I was very happy to be above 500, given the fact that I had 3 freshman beginners on our varsity squad this year.
Absolutely, yeah.
So they really worked hard and played well and started. I mean, they went from shooting in the mid 60s for 9 holes down to one of my freshmen shot 40s for a 9-hole match. So showed a lot of good improvement, and I think they really enjoyed it. So those are some of the regular season highlights.
Well, that bodes well for the future too. You got those freshmen out there playing varsity like that, and getting their feet wet and shooting some pretty decent scores out there. That bodes well for the future of Mules golf, doesn't it?
Yeah, exactly. We've got a really strong top 2 players, and they're going to be back next year. And then my 3 freshmen, I think that they're going to be back as well, and they're only going to get better. So we're very excited for that. And then at conference, we finished 6th in the conference. We did have 1 all-conference honors, which that would be Noah McElravy, my sophomore. He had a really solid round down there at West Frankfort. So I've been very happy with the season we've had.
Yeah, that's great. And for those of you who are wanting to watch the video feed live and see some of the pictures and graphics we have, our video feed has been restored. It's up and running now on AreaSports.net, so if you have access to the website, you can watch the show on there. And what I've got up on the screen right now is a team shot of your Mules and Lady Mules golf team that you sent me this morning, Andrew. And so, again, not the kind of numbers that you'd like to have, but for a school the size of Fairfield, really not bad, because there's a lot of schools the size of Fairfield that don't even have golf. Isn't that right?
Yeah, you're exactly right. A lot of them maybe have 1 or 2 players, and that's it. And that's how it was when this is my 4th season coaching. My first year, we barely had enough to put it together a team score. So, and golf's not something you can just go out and pick up and do well at. So it takes time to develop that talent. I would love to have more players, but the ones we have been committed, and they've worked their tails off to get better.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and also you mentioned the fact that the 2 guys, Maverick and Noah, that are advancing on to the sectional play next week. I've got a picture of them on the screen with you. And was that played at West Frankfort? Is that where you said that was played at?
That's where conference was.
Okay.
The regional was at Robinson.
At Robinson, okay. All right.
Quail Creek, which it was incredibly tough. The scores were higher than normal. Both of those boys played really well. The greens were just almost unplayable as far as speed goes.
Really? Kind of like glass, huh?
Yeah, exactly. And the entire field was that way. There was only 2 scores in the 70s.
Wow.
So very happy with how they played, and I think we'll see lower scores at Effingham, which is where the sectional is.
Yeah, okay. And then also I've got the photo of Maverick earlier in the year. I think that was at that Olney Invite when he got 2nd overall. I think I've got that picture up on the screen as well. And that was at Olney?
Yep, that was at Olney. That was a great round. He was one of only 2 rounds in the 70s. Mm-hmm. The other being the Effingham St. Anthony's number 1, which that player is qualified for the U.S. Junior Amateur last year, so very talented player. So for Maverick to be in the 70s with him was a great achievement.
Okay. And let's talk about some of the courses that you play on, Andrew, because, first of all, your own course here in Fairfield is just a 9-hole course, and sometimes that can be a little bit tough whenever you are trying to practice and go play on some of these other courses, like you mentioned Quail Creek, 18-hole courses and maybe a lot tougher greens and things like that. So talk about some of these courses that you've played at this year and what you've seen out there.
Well, first I'd like to say Fairfield, it is tough. We don't have a driving range. We don't get practice like that. But as far as course condition goes, our course was almost the best that we've played in all year.
No kidding.
Our greens and fairways are phenomenal. A lot of other courses we play, they'll have nice fairways, but the greens will be really slow or bumpy or rough, or vice versa. So, we've had a great year, and I appreciate the Fairfield staff, the greenskeepers, on what they've done, because it is in great shape.
Yeah, kudos to whoever is taking care of the greens and the fairways out there.
Yeah, absolutely. So, but we always do on Mount Carmel. They typically have a nice 18-hole course. We have that 18-hole event. It's usually in pretty good shape. My kids like it. One side was built in the 70s, the other was built in the 1920s. So you can definitely tell between the two sides.
Yeah.
The difference in the style of golf at the time. Went down to McLeansboro. That's a 9-hole course. We always enjoy going there. It's a lot of fun. There's some forky holes there that the boys like to play, and the girls do too. Alney's always tough. Their back nine is heavily wooded, so it's it's usually a struggle for the beginner players, but the greens are also really small, which can be challenging. And all my players like West Frankfort, where we have the conference. That was actually, for my freshmen, I didn't take them to the early 18-hole matches just because I didn't want them to quit on me. Mm-hmm. So conference was their first 18-hole match.
Oh, wow.
So really probably the first time they'd ever walked 18 holes, and they did great. The scores were right on their season average, so it wasn't anything that they couldn't handle, but they were definitely a little bit more worn out than they were used to after our 9-hole matches.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm sure that they were. All right, so coming up, the sectional, did you say it's Monday or Tuesday coming up next week?
It's Monday at Effingham Country Club.
All right, and we want to wish Maverick and Noah the best of luck as they compete in that. And who are some of the other teams that are feeding into that sectional? I know there's a bunch of them, but can you just mention a few of them to us?
Carmi qualified as a team. McLeansboro qualified as a team. Effingham, St. Anthony, Hillsboro, which obviously is a little bit farther away. They're probably about the strongest team in Southern Illinois, so it's going to be a good battle between probably Hillsboro, Effingham, St. Anthony, and I would guess Carmi. They've got a really good freshman. Mm-hmm. So a lot of good players, going to be a lot of good talent. I think it's, you're going to have to go have a really good day to be able to qualify for state, but I think our boys can do it.
Yeah, well, that's great. We hope that they do. And I know you're a big golfer yourself as well. And ask you a question about the professional golf tour. Were you amazed and surprised this year at the resurgence of Tiger Woods after all those back surgeries?
I was absolutely amazed after watching him the previous couple of years with the chili dips and things that I do on the golf course. I couldn't believe I was watching him do the miss hits that I usually do. So, I think he's good for golf. He's good for TV viewers. He's good for the other tour players as far as prize money goes. So I know that they're happy to have him back, and I think, if he ends up winning a major, it's got to be one of the most incredible comeback stories ever.
Yeah, I agree. Did you make it over to Belle Reve any for the PGA Championship over there when he was there in St. Louis?
I did. Mm-hmm. I did. I went to the Tuesday practice round,
cool.
Which was the rain day, which is kind of a bummer, but because it was so poor weather-wise, a lot of spectators left, and I actually I followed Brooks Koepka.
Oh, cool.
For 9 holes, and he ended up winning the tournament, so that was pretty cool.
Boy, that guy can mash the ball, can he? Man, oh, man.
Yes, he can.
Yeah.
Incredible.
He's strong. He's a big guy. Sure is.
They all look smaller in person than they do on TV, except for him and Dustin Johnson. He looks like a middle linebacker.
He does. He looks more like a football player than a golfer.
I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah,
so,
sure is.
And we took a couple of the high school boys went over and we watched as well, so that was
That's
great.
great. That's awesome. I'm glad you were able to do that. That's great. Well, Andrew, we appreciate your time this morning on the Sports Couch, and again, best of luck to the two Mules as they head on into the sectional next week, and maybe we'll be able to report on them going on to state. That'd be awesome if they made that cut. So we'll see what happens.
All right. I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Okay, Andrew, we'll talk again, all right? Thanks. Appreciate it. Okay, bye-bye. That is Andrew Williams. He, of course, is the golf coach at Fairfield Community High School, both the boys and the girls. And, again, a couple of guys advancing on to the sectional next week at Effingham, and we're thrilled for them. Okay, so Maverick and Noah, we wish you guys the best as you move forward. Going to talk some volleyball coming up next. Chet Snyder, Fairfield Lady Mules volleyball coach, joins us next on the Sports Couch. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
It's the local sports talk show that everyone is talking about. It's the Sports Couch on 90.9 The Vine and AreaSports.net.
Underwriting on the Vine is made possible by DiMaggio's Restaurant in Fairfield, where they are pleased to announce that they now offer online ordering. That's right, you can now order your favorite pizza, pasta, or salad online and have it delivered to your home or office, or pick it up at your convenience. The entire menu is online, and it's fast, easy, and convenient to order online. You can even select a date and time in advance. It's all online at DiMaggio's.pizza. That's DiMaggio's.pizza. You've heard the old saying, practice makes perfect. Well, there's actually a lot of truth to that, and you can get one-on-one instruction in baseball, softball, basketball, as well as speed and agility drills at the Sports Zone in Fairfield. The Sports Zone has been in business for quite some time now and has helped many area boy and girl athletes excel in their sport of choice. Lessons and practice times are available at convenient times that meet your schedule. The Sports Zone is located on Delaware Street in Fairfield, and we appreciate their support. Are you going out of town for a vacation or a weekend getaway? What are you going to do with your dog? That's easy. There's Jagger's Doggy Daycare in Mount Vernon. Jagger's Doggy Daycare is your one-stop shop for overnight dog boarding, doggy daycare, as well as dog grooming and obedience dog training. It's your dog's home away from home, and they will thrive, and they'll get one-on-one attention by a great staff. More information is available on the web at jaggersdoggydaycare.com. Jagger's Doggy Daycare, 414 Main Street in Mount Vernon. Welcome back to the Sports Couch here live on a Saturday morning on 105.5 and 90.9 The Vine Radio, and also streaming live worldwide on both of our websites. Live audio streaming at wvyn.org, and live video streaming is back at AreaSports.net. I'm Randy Olson, live in studio, and Danny Anselment is not with us today. He's in the middle of harvest season, so going to continue to try to work on that and get that done. He'll be with us here another week or two, hopefully, as he completes that. Hey, we've talked Fairfield Mules golf this morning. Let's talk Fairfield Mules volleyball right now with longtime coach Chet Snyder, who joins us. Good morning, Chet. How are you?
Good morning, Randy. I'm good.
Great. Good to have you on the show. And, boy, you've had a wild and crazy season already, haven't you?
Yeah, we have. Already played 25 matches. So.
No kidding. 25? Wow.
Yep.
That is amazing. And you've had some big wins, some tough losses, but some other big ones still to come. It's been an exciting season for you, hasn't it?
Yeah, we were excited about this season. We're 20-5 right now. We did really well at the KZ Invitational, which is really tough. Saw some great competition, and then we went down to Benton and we won that tournament for the first time in 20 years. And
wow,
beat a great Nashville team and a great Pinckneyville team in the Gold Flight, and we've just had a great season. Got a tough road winning the BDC at McLeansboro the other night. It continues Monday. We lost at home to Edwards County in the conference, and we go there Monday for the pink out game. So that'll be something we're really looking forward to.
Yeah, that Black Diamond Conference battle between you guys and the Lady Foxes and the Lady Lions, three outstanding volleyball teams that have really been going at it tooth and nail this season. Yeah,
our conference is, I don't know, I think people thought it was going to be down this year, and it's really good. Carmi is better than, they just beat Hamilton County the other night.
I saw that, yeah.
Johnson City, they've got a new coach on staff, and he brought his daughter to Johnson City, and they're much, much improved from what they've been. So overall, our conference is much better. Edwards County's still the champ, though. They've won it the last 2 years, and they're in the driver's seat right now. So hopefully we can knock them off Monday night.
That's going to be a big game, that pink out match Monday night over at Albion. That'll be huge. Yeah, sure will be. Yeah, I've got a picture up on the screen right now of your team, and they've all got a trophy and a bunch of medals around their neck. Is that the win down at Heron? Is that what that is?
That's at Benton.
That's at Benton, okay.
That's when we won the Benton Invitational.
Okay, yeah. Awesome. Well, they all have big smiles on their face, and rightfully so.
Yeah, it was a fun day. They played super all day long. We had a couple girls make the all-tourney team there, and it could have been any one of them. It was just a great team effort that day.
Well, let's let you go through your team members right now and the floors, the girls that you normally put on the floor. I know you run a lot in there as substitutes too, but let's kind of let you run through your roster right now and give kudos to these girls and the great season they've had thus far.
Well, I'll start with my seniors. My two senior captains are Chloe Newman. She plays middle and right side for us, and she stepped up into leadership tremendously. It's hard for girls to lead, and hard for high school girls to want to follow a leader. And Chloe's been a great leader for us. And Macy Clark is our other senior captain. She hits outside. She made the all-tourney team at Casey, and Chloe made the all-tourney team at Benton. And they've both been fantastic for us. Kinsey Kobach plays middle. She had a great night the other night at Hamilton County. She's just really coming on. Jessica Sims plays back row, and then she's kind of a utility player on the front row for us, does a good job. Gracie Musgrave is, she moved over here from Wayne City this year, and she had a huge night for us against Hamilton County. She came in and served and got us on a good run. And then our sixth senior is Samantha Estes, who's been a 3-year starter for me and just a fantastic. She's one of the better players in Southern Illinois, and she went down at the Heron tournament and tore her ACL and meniscus.
Ouch.
And so she's out for the year for us. So we've had to adjust without Sam, and that's hard to watch as a coach, someone who loves volleyball so much, to see it taken away from her. And but we're adjusting to life without Samantha. Then we have two juniors who are just outstanding. Lexi Hobbs, she plays libero for us. She's the one on the other jersey, and she's made the alternate team everywhere we've went, and she's getting some Division I looks, which we've never had a Division I volleyball player, so it's exciting for us. And then Jacqueline Sims, she's finished 5th in state in the high jump in the state of Illinois last spring, and she's really improved her volleyball game. She plays outside for us and can really hit the ball. And then our setter is a sophomore, Kylie Stewart, and she runs a really quick tempo for us and is a fantastic defender and just a great competitor. She's done a great job. And then Colby Sutton and Leah Bowers, they're filling Samantha's spot. They're both sophomores, and Colby's done a great job on the back row for us all year. She serves really tough. And Leah has stepped in at middle. We've moved Chloe to right side in Samantha's spot, and Leah's playing middle. And she did a great job at Hamilton County the other night.
Well, that's great. And, you mentioned one sophomore there, and that brings up a good point. You've got to start at that younger level, and those younger girls that are coming up, those freshmen and sophomores, are so important. And I've got a shot of a screen right now of girls that I think did well in a sophomore tournament that you had, maybe perhaps won that. Can you comment on your sophomores here? I've got them on the screen.
Yeah, the sophomores, they're the JV. We don't have any juniors on the JV.
Okay.
They're 15-0 right now.
Wow.
And they're just a special group. They play super, super hard, and they're smart, and they hate to lose. And a lot of them don't hang out with each other off the court, but on the court you get them out there, and they play so well together. And that picture's from them winning the Fairfield. We have an 18 tournament, a JV tournament, and we had to put our sophomores and freshmen in because we had a team drop out. And our freshmen actually played fantastic in it too, and they went 3-2 on the day and beat 3 JV teams. So the freshmen are doing really, really well right now too. The sophomores, they're going to try to finish undefeated on the year, and they were undefeated all summer too. They won a couple summer tournaments, so it's a special group we got coming up.
Yeah, that's exciting to know that they're 15-0 at that level right now, and you got them coming up. So yeah, that bodes well for Lady Mules volleyball.
Right.
Yeah, sure does. How long have you been doing this now, Chet?
This is year 15.
Holy cow! Yeah, I knew it'd been a long time. I just didn't know how many. 15. Wow. Does it seem like 15, or does it seem like yesterday?
It does. The game's changed so much too, and we're starting to have. We're pretty exciting to watch this year, and I've had a lot of the older players come in and they're watching our home matches, and so that's neat to see, and reminisce with them a little bit about, what they started. So we still in those 15 years we haven't had a losing season, and that's just pride that all those girls have put in the program.
Yeah, that's fantastic to have that kind of a run and not have a losing season. Now, you mentioned that you haven't had a Division I player, but I know you've had a lot of girls come through your program to go on and play at junior colleges and perhaps Division II or III or something, haven't you?
Yeah, we've had 18 girls go on and and get some school paid for and get to play college volleyball.
That's great.
But we just never had one that broke through, and we were up at U of I camp this summer, and Lexi really got noticed by some coaches, and so she's getting some good looks right now.
That is awesome. That's great. You mentioned U of I. I know you're a huge Illinois volleyball fan, and how are they doing this year at the collegiate level there in the Big Ten?
Oh, they're outstanding. They're ranked 7th in the nation. They're 14-2. We are actually going to watch them tonight. The volleyball team we're going to load up the varsity.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome.
Go up there, and we're going to stop in at Tuscola at that outlet mall and play a little scavenger hunt game, a little team bonding.
That's great.
And then we're going to go eat together and then watch the Fighting Illini.
That is awesome. And who are the Fighting Illini taking on tonight?
Northwestern Wildcats.
Okay. How's Northwestern this year? Do you know?
They're good. Everybody in the Big Ten is good. The Big Ten has 5 teams ranked in the top 10.
No kidding. Wow.
So,
wow, I didn't realize that. That's amazing.
Yeah,
that's a
Illinois,
powerhouse conference then for volleyball.
Oh, it's the best. And Illinois' setter, she's 6'2", and she's set for the national team this summer. So she'll be an Olympian one day, so it'll be fun to watch her.
That's neat. Well, we'll let you go then so you can get ready to make that trip up there tonight. That sounds like a lot of fun for you and the girls, a great team-building exercise, and probably a lot of education, too, as they watch those girls play at that level. That'll be fun for them, for sure.
Yes, it will.
Yeah,
thanks for having me on, Randy.
Oh, you bet, absolutely, and good luck Monday night as you go to Albion against Edwards County, okay?
Thank you. We'll need it.
All right, Chet, take care. Bye-bye.
You too. Bye.
That's Chet Snyder. He is the head volleyball coach there at Fairfield, and again having a great season, and a big Black Diamond Conference battle coming up this Monday looms as they'll have a rematch with Edwards County, a team they lost to earlier in Black Diamond Conference play. They did knock off Hamilton County the other night, and so again the conference race is up for grabs, although Edwards County's in the driver's seat. They'll have their annual pink out game over at Albion this Monday night, so if you want to see some good volleyball, 2 outstanding teams, Fairfield and Edwards County doing battle again this coming Monday night over at Albion at the Edwards County High School. All right. Hey, when we come back, we're going to talk some tennis. All right. Fairfield tennis coming up next with Coach Jane Best right here on the Sports Couch. We'll be right back.
It's the local sports talk show that everyone is talking about. It's the Sports Couch on 90.9 The Vine and AreaSports.net.
This is your home for best Christian music.
WVYN, Blueford, Wayne City, Fairfield, Mount Vernon.
And now on Translator, W288CO Centralia, broadcasting at 105.5.
A service of Real Life Radio Foundation.
The best Christian music, 90.9 The Vine.
Hi, this is Ashley DeVoy with the Fairfield Banking Company. We've been strongly rooted in this area since 1892. Our foundation is strong and we offer a unique checking account for customers 50 and older. It's called the 1892 Founders Club Checking, and it puts your money to work with interest paid on balances of $1,000 or more. You've worked hard to build a strong financial foundation for yourself, and now it's time to reap the rewards, including free checks and paper statements. Learn more about the 1892 Founders Club Checking Account, available at the Fairfield Banking Company, 915 Commerce Drive, member FDIC and equal housing lender.
Real Life Radio thanks Fairfield Printing and Graphics for their partnership in local Christian radio ministry. Fairfield Printing and Graphics Graphics offers custom sizing for banners and signs, as well as yard signs, corrugated signs, and metal signs. Fairfield Printing and Graphics also specializes in custom t-shirts, business cards, wedding invitations, hats, bags, and much more. They are located at number 5 Williamson Drive in Fairfield, and their phone number is 842-4048.
Underwriting on the Vine is made possible by Iconic Studio in Fairfield. If you're looking for something different, Iconic Studio in Fairfield specializes in modern, high-fashion images with an unlimited supply of backgrounds. They are national award-winning photographers at Iconic Studio in Fairfield. Their phone number is 842-9542, and their website is iconicstudio.com. Welcome back to the Sports Couch here live on a Saturday morning on 105.5 and 90.9 The Vine Radio, and also streaming live worldwide on both of our websites. We have a live audio streaming at wvyn.org and live video streaming for you on AreaSports.net. I'm Randy Olson, live in studio. Danny's not with us today, and he will rejoin us when the harvest season's done, all right? Hey, we've been focusing on a lot of the fall sports this morning at Fairfield Community High School. Usually we have Coach Justin Townsend on with us to talk about the Mules football team, but they're playing this afternoon. They got a Saturday game today as they are playing down at Vienna this afternoon. And so we've been focusing in on some of the other sports. And so we've had Andrew Williams on to talk about the golf team. We've had Chet Snyder to talk about volleyball. And now we're going to be joined by Jane Best to talk about the Lady Mules tennis team. And she joins us right now. How you doing this morning, Jane?
I'm doing great, thank you.
Good to have you on the Sports Couch, and tell us how things have been going with the Lady Mules tennis team this year.
Well, we are at a place, we have one match left for the rest of the season. Will be Tuesday night, and it is with Salem, at Salem, and then we go into our sectionals on next Friday on October 12th.
It's a fast season, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. We started the day after school started. With our first match, and basically within a month and a half, we are done with our season.
That's amazing. How many girls you have out this year for Lady Mules tennis?
We have 17 this year.
Wow.
Yes, pretty good team. I started 4 years ago, had 8 girls, and varies, from year to year, but we are up to 17 this year.
So the program is growing, and that's a good thing.
Yes, it is.
All right. And, of course, you have girls playing both singles and doubles. Out of that 17 girls, what's the mix between the classes?
We have 2 seniors. We had our senior night this past Thursday. Hannah Gruner and Camber Isle were my 2 seniors this year. And I have 3 juniors, and I have 9 sophomores and 3 freshmen.
Okay. And if you would, can you run through for us who's playing the singles and the doubles for you in most of your matches?
Yes. My varsity team, the ranking for singles is Hannah Gruner is number 1. Number 2 is Abby White. 3 is Brittany Titzer. 4, Lainey Milner. 5, Adriana Munoz. And 6, Alexis Worthy. And that's my singles team for varsity.
Mm-hmm.
For doubles, we have the team 1 is Brittany Titzer and Lainey Milner. They play both singles and doubles. My team 2 is Allison Bunting and Camber Isle. And my team 3 is Kerrigan Harvey and Allie Hooper.
Okay. And you play your matches out at Lakeside Courts? Is that where they're at? Or?
Yes, that's correct.
Your home matches?
8 courts.
Mm-hmm.
We have a wonderful facility, which when we go to most other schools, they don't have as many courts, and we have 8.
Right.
So it really works great.
Well, you mentioned that because you go to other places that don't have as many courts, it takes a little bit longer to finish a match, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. A lot of times we don't get finished till like 8 or 9 some evenings.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, here we get done about usually around 7 o'clock.
Yeah. Well, just curious, how many schools in the Black Diamond Conference actually have tennis? I would say it's not that many, right?
No, it's not. We play Carmi, we play Mount Carmel, Flora. We play Flora. Basically, I mean, that's the closest towns that we have that are actually in it. Most of the schools we play are like Heron, Carbondale, Benton, Robinson, Centralia, Newton. Those are most of the schools. So usually our matches are, hour and a half away most of the time.
And a lot of the schools have a much larger enrollment. They're 3A schools, what some of those you mentioned. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yes, very much so, yes. The pool that they have to choose from is usually a lot higher. So.
Oh, yeah. Of all the tennis matches or teams that you've faced this year, who would you say is the toughest tennis programs you've faced this year?
Probably we went up against Carbondale. They have a pretty good. Well, actually, they have a girl on there that's state bound. They're number one, and I would say they've been a really tough match. Centralia had a pretty good round. That when we went up against them, those are probably two of the toughest.
You mentioned Carbondale. Is Michael Butler still coaching down there, or is he done?
Yes.
Is he?
Yes, he is. He's still there. He was here Thursday night for the match.
All right. I know Michael. Yeah.
Yes. Oh, yes.
Yeah, he's a character, isn't he?
Yes, he is.
Yeah, he's a character. Well, he's had a good program down there for quite a while, and it sounds like he's got it going on this year down there, so it's good.
Yes, he does. Yeah, he's got quite a few girls coming and playing.
So you got postseason starting, you say, then, right?
Yes.
And that's next week, and where's that going to be held at?
Tuesday will be our last match away at Salem. That'll be our regular season. And then on Friday we have at Heron will be our sectionals.
Okay, and who are some of the other teams off the top of your head that would feed into that sectional at Heron? I'm sure there's quite a few of them, but if you can just name a few of them for us.
Yes, Heron will be there. Carbondale will be there. Marion. We also Waterloo. We have Carmi will be there. Mount Carmel will be there. We will be there, and I think that's about it. I think
pretty stiff competition, then, isn't it?
Yeah.
It really
yes,
is.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really, really is.
But one thing about that, though, Jane, when you face tough competition like that lets the girls know what they've got to do to work on their game to take it to another level and improve, particularly the younger girls that will be coming back, right?
Exactly, yes. And that's usually what I try to tell them. When we come up against a really tough competition, I try to relate to them, just see what you can learn from their game. You know, you may walk off the court not winning the match, but hopefully you will have gained something from watching them play.
Oh, absolutely. And you mentioned that you just have 2 seniors this year out of your 17 girls, so you got a lot of girls coming back next year.
Yes, I do. As a matter of fact, I have felt like our record doesn't really reflect how we have played because I consider, the last couple of years building years. I hadn't had any seniors except for my first year coaching 4 years ago. They've all been underclassmen until this year, and having 2 seniors. So I'm hoping by the ones coming back next year, our record will reflect a little bit better than what we've had so far.
Well, it takes time. There's no doubt about it. Brick by brick, you just have to build it a little bit at a time, and hopefully this is another step in the right direction this year. That's what you're working towards, right?
That is correct. That's exactly what we're working toward.
You mentioned you play Flora each year. Jerry Stringer's still up there, isn't he?
Yes, he is.
Boy,
yes,
Jerry's been doing it a long time, hasn't he?
Yeah, yes, he has. Yeah, he's quite the character, too.
He is, and I'll let you in on a little secret. Jerry was my tennis coach because I went to Flora, and he was my tennis coach. That's how long he's been doing it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Didn't realize that, but I know they also have a really, really good team.
They do.
When we play them. Yeah, we played them this year and got beat, but he makes it enjoyable when we do go up there.
Well, yeah, I'm sure that he does, and you're not the only team that got beat by Flora this year, I'm sure, because he does have a good program up there.
Yes, he does.
Yeah,
yes, he does.
No doubt about it.
I know a lot of these other schools have, they start their programs at really young ages. You know, there's some kids that have a tennis racket in their hand at age 3, and we don't have that. I mean, I had 3 girls as freshmen walk on this year never having had a tennis racket in their hand before.
You bring up a good point there because I know up at Flora, he's got that Frog Island Tennis Association or something up there, and they have tournaments and they have things for the kids that they start out very, very young, and that's something that a lot of communities don't have, and it'd be a nice thing to see in Fairfield to do something like that, wouldn't it? Yeah.
We do have a summer tennis league, but it's not real what can I say, advertised to the point where we get a lot of younger kids in playing. But I do know we do have that going. I know Don Woods for many years he and Shirley Simpson have operated that.
Yeah.
But I do know that the kids are not really, really young. I mean, I think they're more like junior high age and that kind of thing.
Yeah, and you take a look at some of the other sports that kids start at a young age, like basketball and baseball, softball. They start at a really, really young age, and so many of these girls that you've got, like you said, they're not picking up a tennis racket until they get to high school, and that's a big disadvantage.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Like I said, the 3 freshmen that I had go out this year, not a single one of them had ever played the sport before in their life.
Wow, that's amazing. Sure
yes.
is.
And just to see the improvement they've had from the beginning of the season till now has been phenomenal. I mean, they picked up the game really quickly, but then again, they're behind in just the skills and what someone that's played the game for 10 years.
Right. Well, hopefully they got their appetite whetted enough this year, Jane, that they'll want to work on their game in the summertime and do some other things, participate in maybe some summer leagues or go to tournaments or something like that and hone their skills and then return next year and be even a bigger asset to your program.
Yes, that would be wonderful. I would love to see that.
Yeah.
I'd love to see that.
All right. Well, Jane, we appreciate your time this morning on the Sports Couch. It's been good catching up with you about the Lady Mules tennis team, and we wish you luck next week at Salem, and then wish all the girls luck as they move on to post-season next week down at Heron, okay?
Thank you. I really, really appreciate it.
All right, Jane. Have a good weekend, all right? Appreciate it. Thank you.
You too.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye-bye. It's Jane Best. She is the girls' tennis coach at Fairfield Community High School. And we appreciate her time on the Sports Couch this morning, catching up with them. I'll tell you, these seasons in the fall, they go fast, don't they? They sure do. I mean, you got golf that's already into postseason. You got volleyball getting close to postseason, and you heard her say just one match left there for tennis, and then they are moving into postseason as well. So it just doesn't take very long. And then football. Hey, here we are in week number 7 of football season. The Mules are 6-0, and they head into play this afternoon at Vienna, looking for their 7th win of the season. At the top of the show, I went through all the high school football scores from all the different conferences in the area last night. If you missed some of those, you can go back and check those out on our sports website at AreaSports.net. When we come back, we're going to talk a little bit about postseason baseball. Major League Baseball playoffs are underway. We'll talk a little bit about that, as well as talk about some of the college football games taking place around the area today. All that and more coming up on the Sports Couch. We'll be right back.
It's the local sports talk show that everyone is talking about. It's the Sports Couch on 90.9 The Vine and AreaSports.net.
Glassmasters is proud to be an underwriting supporter of 90.9 The Vine. Glassmasters is a full-service glass company serving Mount Vernon, Fairfield, McLean, and the region. Larry Hester and the Glassmasters team specialize in repairing windshields, including broken glass, rock chips, and cracks. At Glassmasters, their mobile repair unit can come to your home, office, or business. Their phone number is 599-1985. Glassmasters, a full-service glass company.
This is Kima for Meager Pest Control. We are honored to partner in radio ministry with 105.5 and 90.9 The Vine. Meager Pest Control is Christian-owned and veteran-owned and offers effective pest control services using industry-leading products with proven methods of application. Meager Pest Control covers your residential and commercial pest control needs.
Call my daddy at 315-5212 or find us on Facebook. Meager Pest Control!
Underwriting on the Vine is provided by Napa Auto Parts in Wayne City. Napa specializes in providing parts and accessories you need in one convenient location. Filters, batteries, brake pads, shocks, exhaust pipes, hydraulic hoses, windshield wipers, tools, and equipment. They have it in stock at Napa in Wayne City. The Napa Know-How phone number is 895-2108. We thank Napa Auto Parts in Wayne City for their support.
Sometimes you need an attorney who can look out for your interest. Located just a short drive away in Mount Vernon, Olson & Reeves offer a free consultation to discuss your needs. Everything is discreet and confidential. At Olson & Reeves, they can provide you with consultation and assistance with traffic law and DUIs, estate planning, living wills, divorce, real estate contracts, personal injury and accidents, as well as medical malpractice. Call Olson & Reeves, attorneys at law in Mount Vernon at 316-7322. And welcome back to the Sports Couch here live on a Saturday morning on 105.5 and 90.9 The Vine Radio, and also streaming live worldwide on both of our websites. Live audio streaming right now at wvyn.org and live video streaming at AreaSports.net. As we mentioned, the Hamilton County Lady Foxes won the Class L Junior High State Softball Championship a couple days ago, and we were going to talk to Coach Lynn Braden with us this morning, but she is unable to visit with us this morning, has another commitment, and so we're going to try to catch up with her next week. But I think we might be visiting with our sidekick here, Danny, here in just a moment. I just got a message to call Danny, so let's see what that's all about. And we'll get him on the air here as we talk a little baseball and football and stuff like that here at the end of the show. Danny, you're on the air. Danny, you're on the air.
Yeah, I just thought I'd call and chat with you just a minute here this morning. And
absolutely.
Say the show sounded pretty nice here this morning. You had a good group of guests.
Yeah, well, thanks. I was, like I said, we wanted to have Coach Lynn Braden on with us, but she's got another commitment this morning. But she said we should be able to do it next week, so we look forward to talking to her about what's going on with the Lady Foxes winning that championship. But what a game that must have been, 13-12, huh?
Yeah, I talked to Lynn's dad yesterday afternoon, and he said it was just a grueling, grinded-out contest. And he said when I got done watching the ball game, I felt like I worked 12 hours. That's how intense it was.
Boy, that must have been. It's a shame that one of the teams had to lose, 13-12. What a championship game. You couldn't ask for much more, could you?
You know, Randy, what's really amazing about that is you take Hamilton County as a school with counting the grade school and high school and everything, has enrollment around 1,260. And they were played, the first two games were teams out of Metro East that had enrollments of over 2,500 students that they defeated. And, of course, everybody knows Carterville and all their tradition that they have down there. And matter of fact, their boys' team and girls' team both was playing for the championship.
How about that? Yeah, that's amazing. That is. Hey, speaking of softball or even baseball, how about these Major League Baseball playoffs so far? You got the Dodgers up 2-0 on Atlanta after beating the Braves 3-0 last night. You got Milwaukee up on Colorado 2-0 after shutting out the Rockies last night 4-0. And then you got Boston beating the Yankees last night in Game 1 5-4, and you got Houston beating Cleveland last night in Game 1 7-2. So kind of interesting what's going on in postseason play. But, man, that Milwaukee team has been hot, haven't they?
That Milwaukee team, Randy, is a really dangerous team right now. They've kind of come together. Their pitching, everybody thought that was a suspect area of this team, and it still probably is because they can bash the baseball. And they're on a roll right now, and they're going to be a handful for anybody. Look forward to be them and the Dodgers. The Braves, I've seen their manager last night. He said they're just having trouble scoring runs.
Yeah.
He said this has been an ongoing thing here the last few weeks of the season, and they just can't put their finger on it. But they got a bunch of young kids, and I think they're kind of like the Cardinals. They run up against that brick wall there at the end of the season, and they may be a little bit out of gas.
Well, I think you're exactly right, Danny. I think that Atlanta's going to be good for a long time because they got so many great young players, and I think St. Louis has got a chance to be pretty good too for a while. You know, if they can get these young players dialed in with a good group of veterans and get that mixed together. But you're right, they just ran out of gas this year. Talking about the Cardinals.
Well, yeah, you know, but Cardinal management, Randy, is going to have to go. They know they've got some problem areas, and they cannot keep sitting on their hands thinking, well, we'll get this thing fixed. They got to have a third baseman. They don't have any. They've got three young prospects, 17, 18, and 19, that are tearing it up. But they're a long way from Major League ready. So, you know, you can't keep not putting a Band-Aid on things and try to fix it. They've got the revenue. They've got the money. And I think Mr. DeWitt realizes the fan base is getting pretty antsy.
Yeah.
For the Cardinals to miss the playoffs from years in a row. But the problem with that is the Brewers and the Cubs are both still probably ahead of the Cardinals, although the Cubs got some problems. This Addison Russell deal, but they've shown they don't care to spend money to try to fix it.
Well, I look for the Cubs to make some deals in the offseason. I don't think they'll be afraid to. I think you'll have a totally different-looking pitching staff next year with the Cubs, and I think that they'll shore up some of their problems in the field too. And if they decide that Addison Russell is going to be a head case, they may just part ways with him. You just never know, because I think they're going to right the ship and make the changes that they want to. You got to tip your hat to Milwaukee for making the moves that they made, not only in the preseason, the moves they made, but right before the trading deadline, the moves they made. I mean, Milwaukee was not afraid to flip the switch, and they did, so you just have to tip your hat to them.
Oh, yeah, and the pieces that they picked up is what put them over the top.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And, if they can keep that group together and then maybe even build upon it some more, Milwaukee's going to be a dangerous team next year, too.
Oh, yeah, Milwaukee's they're definitely going to be one of the top teams in the division. There's going to be no doubt about that. And their management is looking for a couple pieces, and they get them put together. It'll be interesting to see what happens in the NL Central.
Yeah, it really will be. Well, let's shift gears here a little bit and talk a little bit of football. You got Illinois at 2-2. They're playing a Big Ten game today against Rutgers. I think Lovie Smith, I think he may be in trouble up there at Illinois. They need a conference win in a bad way, don't they?
Oh, yeah. You can't keep saying, well, we're going to get this thing turned around. It's time to start seeing some results, or people are going to get very nervous there.
Yeah. Other games in the Big Ten today, you got Maryland at Michigan, you got Northwestern at Michigan State, you got Indiana at number 3 Ohio State, you got Nebraska at Wisconsin, and you got Iowa at Minnesota. And if we take a look at other teams in the top 25 today, you got number 1 Alabama against Arkansas, Texas at Oklahoma, Clemson at Wake Forest, Florida State at Miami, LSU at Florida, and Arizona State at Colorado. Interesting thing there with Alabama, they've won these championships, and, of course, they remain number 1 again, but there's been a lot of criticism from their coach, Nick Saban, and some others on the student body and the fans because they haven't been showing up to some of the games, despite the success that Alabama's had. But you got to look at some of the cupcakes that they've scheduled, too, and the fans have just decided, no, I don't want to go watch a 63-0 beating.
Well, nobody gets any enjoyment out of that, Randy. They want to see a game like Cesar and Hamilton County had last night.
Yeah.
46-40.
Right.
That's the kind of games people like to see. A lot of action, a lot of scoring. When it's 63-0 and it's 24-0 at the first quarter, the game's decided most of the time. Yeah,
I agree. So, Alabama has played definitely a lot of cupcakes here in the early stages of the season, but they'll start to get into their SEC schedule now, and, again, they go on the road today at Arkansas. But,
SIU starts Missouri Valley Conference today also. I think Nick Hill needs to get a victory or two down there, too, or they may start getting restless down there. He's having a hard time recruiting the kids he needs.
Yeah, the Salukis are 1-3 on the season. They go to Youngstown State today. You've also got Northern Iowa at home against North Dakota State. You got Missouri State on the road at South Dakota, and you got Western Illinois at Illinois State today. Games involving teams from Missouri Valley Conference. But yeah, you're right. He's definitely got to get a win and to be able to continue in that position, I'm afraid, down there, because some people think he's over his head, but only time will tell.
Well, yeah, you want to give the young guy plenty of opportunities, but it's the recruitment of these players. There's such a big play in how these teams perform, and you got to have success to get some of the kids that you need.
Yeah. Oh, real quick before we let you go and we wrap up the show, last night in the high school football games, you mentioned the game between Cesar and Hamilton County. What a battle, 46-40, and that's a good bounce-back win for Cesar Valier because, they had gotten beat last week and got shut out, so they overcame those injuries and were able to find a way to win last night over Hamilton County. But what a game that must have been.
Yeah, I kind of caught bits and pieces of that game last night, and it was back and forth. I think Cessna had the ball one more time than the Foxes, and they were able to punch in 6 points and come away with a victory. So Foxes playing much better football. Their junior program is having a lot of success. I think the 7th and 8th grade teams play for third place in that Black Diamond Conference at that level today down at Johnson City. Or no, I think that's all being played at Fetzer. So, things are looking up. El Dorado and Edwards County had a big game last night. El Dorado could be the danger team for the Fairfield Mules.
Yeah, the Mules have got them coming up in another week, and I would say Fairfield's probably also glad they played Chester already because, man, Chester's playing well now as they destroyed Carmi last night, 35-0.
Yeah, Chester played the two best teams. They played Fairfield and El Dorado right off the bat. So to have 2 losses to them 2 teams was not surprising. I thought they might run the table, and I think they're got a good chance to do that now.
Yeah. I would like to have seen that game last night at DuQuoin when Anna Jonesboro came from behind with 2 minutes to go to beat DuQuoin at DuQuoin 36-35. How long do you think it's been since AJ won a game at DuQuoin, if ever?
Well, it's been a while, I'm sure, and that was kind of for the conference lead and stuff there. And I saw some highlights of that game last night. Just about the time you thought DuQuoin put them away, Anna snuck in there and got one to snatch victory from the jaws of defeat.
Yeah. The Salem Wildcats football program has been resurrected, too. They're headed to the playoffs in the Cahokia Conference as they beat Carlisle last night 15-6. Kevin Green's got things going on up there at Salem, doesn't he?
Yes. Salem's kind of been a team that's been flying under the radar. It'll be interesting to see where they get put in a playoff deal, if they can sneak in that 3A bracket or if they get bumped up to 4A. So that'll have a big effect on what they do playoff-wise. But I think they got their 5th win last night, didn't they?
Yeah, they did. They're playoff eligible now, so that's good for them. But, again, I think moving to that Cahokia Conference, and we've talked about it before, Danny, moving to that Cahokia Conference was the best thing to happen to Salem, both for football and for basketball.
Oh, yeah, just for the fact, Randy, that they're now playing schools their size and they're able to compete night in and night out. And when you have a chance to go on the field or the court and win, it just changes everybody's attitude, the fans and everybody else. And when you go into places and you think, well, if we can stay within 20, we're going to have a moral victory here tonight. Well, you can only have so many moral victories in a season.
Yeah, well, Coach Andy Fehrenbacher did a great job with their basketball team last year in that Cahokia Conference when they joined it, and it looks like Kevin Green's doing the same thing with the football program. So it's great for Salem to be in that conference and get the heck out of that Apollo Conference where they were traveling so far and then playing teams that were, so much bigger and just being overmatched.
Yeah, it's definitely a good move for them.
Yeah, sure is. Hey, I think we're out of time, Danny, but appreciate you joining us. How's the harvest going?
We're moving along like a herd of turtles.
That doesn't sound like it's very fast.
Well, we're not fast, but they always say slow and steady wins the race. So
yeah.
I guess we'll see.
You're being efficient though, and you're doing it safely. That's the main thing.
Yep.
All right. Well, hey, we appreciate it.
Well,
have
a good week.
You do the same, and we'll talk to you again. All right. Take care.
All right. See you.
All right. Bye. That's Danny Anselment, my co-host here on the Sports Couch, joining us live from the Combine out there on the back 40 somewhere. But we appreciate him weighing in this morning with us and talking a little bit of sports with us to wrap up the show. And that is a wrap on the Sports Couch today. We appreciate you tuning in. Hope that you enjoyed it. Again, thanks to our guest, Andrew Williams, Chet Snyder, and Jane Best. We'll probably shift back into football mode again next week, I'm sure, as we get close to postseason play. And we'll be in Week 8 next week, and definitely playoff implications all over the place next week as we come to you again with a Sports Couch. It's 60 minutes of great local sports talk coming your way each and every Saturday morning at 8:30 here on 90.9 The Vine and AreaSports.net. Have yourself a great weekend, everyone. So long.